Hello, and welcome back to Life Skills Hacks. Job seeking is a process. If you watch my previous video, I did highlighted that. I indicated that it is not an event, but rather a process. This process is divided into two. We have the preparation stage, and then we have the follow-up stage. With the preparation stage, this is where you out there looking for a particular job that fits your own abilities and competence. So you look around job search platforms and then you've landed on this particular job. It's part of the preparation stage. And then you then making the decision to go for that job. Okay? Now, one important thing that you must do is, first of all, to understand the job description. Every employer carefully crafts and select every word in the job announcement. So if you don't understand what the employer is seeking, then you ultimately leave a wrong application. So first of all, you must read the job description, understand it before you decide to apply. And now once you have the understanding that the employer is looking for specific things which are selected in words and crafted as sentences in the announcement, you would have to pull out at least 15 keywords from that job announcement. And what do we do with them? So you see that the employer is looking for somebody who is flexible, somebody who has who is a team player, somebody who is cooperative, somebody who can think outside the box. And these, more often than not, are words in the job description. So you plug these things out and then you weave them around you. Write your application around those 15 words. This is because the employer is conscious of what he or she is looking for. And immediately he or she reads your application and see that those words in the announcement, the job posting announcement, are echoing in your application, then they will have no option than to say, okay, let's invite this guy in to see if he or she can prove what has been written in the application. Okay? So you don't just jump into applying. First, understand what they are seeking, plug 15 words out of the job posting and use it to craft your application around yourself. Okay? And when they read it, they will call you in for interview. Okay? However, submitting your application is not the end. This is where we move on to the follow-up stage. Okay? Immediately you leave you have submitted your application, you ought to either send a mail or you call the employer, and then you find out whether they have received your application. You just call them and seek confirmation of receipt of your application. That is follow-up. And the reason for this is that during follow-up, you ought to register your name in the name of the employer. So when you're sending a mail or you're calling them, hi, this is Joseph. I just need confirmation of my my application. And then you get a feedback, but your name has been printed in the head of the employer. And then a few weeks after, if you do not have any feedback from the employer, there is nothing wrong with calling back or writing to them and asking, oh, I'm wondering where the employment process is at. What's the process? You're not seeking the employer to tell you who is coming for interview or whether the process, somebody else has been selected. You're just seeking information. And the employer is obliged to supply you with those information. Okay? So after you leave, submit your application. It is for you to call the employer, seek confirmation or receipt of your application, even though you might have received automatic answer that you have delivered your application. No, direct contact with the employer. And then 1 week or 2 weeks, if you don't hear anything, you call them seeking for information regarding the process. Okay? And then you wait again 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. If you haven't heard, you call them again. Okay? And remember that in psychology, we have what we call the recency theory. So the more you call, the more you mention your name, the more your name is registered in the employer. And at the end of the day, if the employer is standing in a cross roads as to who to call in for an interview or who not to call, your name will echo. So you are increasing your probability of being called into an interview. Okay? So the job process is follow up. It is the preparation stage. And when you are done with it, you do follow-ups. And I bet you, definitely, you will go for that interview. Okay? And when you go for the interview, you would win. Imagine the number of times you might have called this employer. And perhaps maybe in their words, they are looking for somebody who have strong willpower, who is motivated. So you calling and making follow-up is sending a signal to the employer that you are motivated. You really need that job. And it will be highly impossible not to come for interview. Hope you have learned something today. Thank you. Share this with family and friends who are unemployed and want to go into the job market. See you in the next video. Bye.